I was standing in an 8th grade classroom when a classmate next to me before the class started said, "Hey, what do you think you're going to be when you grow up?" And I looked at him and in a moment I said, "I'm going to be a high school teacher." But once I was in college, I began to see these other opportunities. And so I stepped back a little bit and decided that maybe what was going on there was that my interest in being a teacher wasn't as deep as I thought. In my work at Mountain Bell, I began to see so many different facets of the business world. They offered me an opportunity to go on their fast-track college grad management program. It was sort of, we'll give you 1 year to demonstrate whether you have upper-level potential, and if you do, you can continue on. As it turned out, it looked like I did, and near the end of my career, the last few years, I wound up in our international division. I was part of the original team that went into the then Soviet Union to build the first private wireless system. So my wife and I moved to Moscow, Russia. And we later lived in Hungary and then came back to the States briefly and then went to Malaysia. I'm chairman of the French family of companies. And so for me to learn the many, many different facets of grief, that within grief there can be joy, within grief there can be anger, within grief there can be deep sorrow, there can be relief, and learning how to recognize those and to come alongside people in those different stages and really help them. And there is absolutely a distinct difference with every family. When I was an installer early on in my career as a telephone guy, getting somebody's telephone in and getting it work, that was pleasurable. But to come alongside somebody at one of the worst moments of their life, it's just a different and deeper level of meaning. It's okay to move it into an environment where you may not have primary background and to take the risk of moving into an area that may create some anxiety initially, but has enormous opportunity to open new doors. And I think sometimes we grow too comfortable with being comfortable. And I think it's healthy to see that disruption that occurs when you step into something new that forces you to get, as a colleague of mine says, learn to get some stretch marks, which means you have to accept a certain level of uncertainty and incompetence. I think if I had been unwilling to go to Russia, if I'd been unwilling to go to Hungary, if I'd been unwilling to go to Malaysia, the richness of my life would be much smaller. It's a terrific honor and something that I think Junior Achievement does very, very well. I think it gives the young people today an opportunity to see what can be from very simple beginnings to what opportunities they have for their own lives over the course of several decades. And I look back on mine and I think mine has been enriched because I've been allowed to be around people like the laureates that have preceded me and those that are joining me with this, and for that I am very grateful.